Back in college, a bizarre incident occurred to me. I was 21, a full-time student, living in my dorm while occasionally staying at home with my parents. One night, I hung out in my friend's room longer than I intended. As dusk settled, signaling it was late, I realized I had to head back to my dorm. The timing slipped my mind while we were engrossed in Wii games. When I finally checked my phone, it was around 9, politely bidding my friend farewell. I headed towards my dorm, deterring for a restroom break. The bathroom, situated at the far end of a creepy, flickering lit hall, made me hesitate. Strange noises emanated from within, bangs and squeaky footsteps. I paused, contemplating using another bathroom, but dismissed my paranoia and proceeded. Approaching the entrance, a sense of foreboding filled me, urging retreat, but I brushed it off. Just steps away, a shadow flickered, but when I looked, no one was there. Despite feeling unnerved, I heard faint whispers, sending chills down my spine. Opening the stalls one by one, I stumbled upon an unexpected sight. The janitor. He sat there, drugged and barely conscious, appearing disheveled and distressed. It was a scene akin to encountering a troubled, unkempt person you'd pass in a rough part of town. I knew he was peculiar, but this was another level. I didn't offer help or speak, nor did he seem to notice me. I silently completed my business and left, not wanting any involvement. Despite the urge to report him, I refrained. I confided in friends, spreading word about his disturbing state, yet no one seemed surprised. Rumors about him were worse. Some claimed he was involved in unacceptable activities. I can't confirm those rumors, but I sensed something wrong about him from the beginning. He gives off an unsettling vibe, and I've always felt uneasy around him. One night, I must have drifted off while watching the classic movie Sandlot. I jolted awake in a slight panic at a loud noise outside my dorm room. It was midnight, a strange time for activity in the halls. As the noise continued, I hesitated, listening intently, until it abruptly stopped. Thinking nothing of it, I attempted to go back to sleep. Then, an abrupt banging on my door startled me. Annoyed, I assumed it was a prank by a friend or some random person messing around. I stormed out, ready to confront them, but the hallway was empty. Frustrated, I shouted, hoping to scare them off, locking my door. I stayed vigilant, waiting for about 10 minutes until the banging returned, accompanied by a man's screams for help. Furious and determined, I rushed out, but they had vanished again. My rage led me to sprint through the halls, choosing to turn right on impulse, hoping for a lead. It was a wild shot in the dark, driven by desperation to catch whoever was toying with me. Turning the corner, I encountered my best friend, Thomas. "Seriously, what's wrong with you? You scared the life out of me," I exclaimed, but Thomas denied any involvement. Doubt crept in. I couldn't tell if he was an excellent actor or genuinely innocent. Wanting closure, I leaned towards believing it was him, just to end the ordeal. In hindsight, I should have listened to his denial. Maybe then, I wouldn't have let my guard down, leading to the most traumatic experience of my life. Returning to my room, Thomas looked genuinely perplexed, but I had an early morning and needed to sleep. However, as I started to drift off, I heard kicking from under my bed. Terrified, I found no one there. Convinced it was my imagination, I fled to a friend's room for the night, hoping for company. But stepping into the hallway, I encountered a menacing figure with a sharp object. Without hesitation, I dashed across the hall, downstairs, and hid in the janitor's room, narrowly escaping the man's pursuit. To this day, he remains unapprehended, unidentified on campus cameras. It's as if he vanished into thin air, leaving no trace. I've often wondered if he's targeted others, or if he's a potential serial killer on the loose. It felt like divine intervention that night, sparing me from a potentially grave fate. A few years back, I completed my college degree. I'm Kaylee, 26 years old, and my focus was on business studies. Anyway, that's enough about me for now. It feels like yesterday when I recall the worst and most terrifying day of my life. It was a routine morning, waking up at 5, prepping myself for the day. I'm an early riser, ensuring I have time for a shower, makeup, and some peaceful moments before heading to school. Suddenly, my best friend Eva bombarded my phone with messages. I paused my hair straightening to see what was going on. She was fretting about her boyfriend. The usual his crazy and intrusive behavior. It wasn't new, but it was alarming because her ex was genuinely unstable. He controlled her life, leaving no room for privacy. We despised him and couldn't fathom what she saw in him. If I'd known how bad it was, I'd never have let her stay with him. Things reached a breaking point when Alex, as I'll call him here, accused Eva of cheating and went off the rails. Fed up, she blocked him for the whole day, hoping it would end there. She practically lived with me, sneaking into my room to study and gossip. She must have forgotten to unblock him. Around 10 at night, a notification jolted us awake. A stranger's message request on Instagram. Opened the door. Then came the pounding on our door. Panic surged, especially in Eva. We knew it was likely Alex seeking revenge. We planned to wait it out, hoping he'd leave. But he persisted. His yelling and banging intensified, claiming he caught us red-handed. It sounded like Alex, yet something felt off. We called the police, but who knew when they'd arrive? Suddenly, his noises faded away, and the dorm neighbors, alerted by the ruckus, contacted campus security. Minutes later, they were at our door. I hesitated, thinking it might be Alex's trick. But I took a chance and opened up. I explained everything to them and later to the arriving police. One officer talked to us while another deputy found Alex trying to flee in the parking lot. He was apprehended with alarming items: knife, bondage rope, and pills. It's disturbing to imagine his intentions that night. I barely slept, waking multiple times, shaken by the fear. Despite him being in jail, it took weeks for us to feel safe in our room again. But Alex's presence lingered. Though Eva ended things for good, he'd occasionally show up. Not as violent, but undeniably unsettling. There was something seriously wrong with that guy.